Hello and welcome to this timeless pick-a-card reading designed for lightworkers and healers to support them in exploring their hidden value. So the intention behind this reading is to help you, one, appropriately price your services and your offerings, but also to guide you a little bit in communicating that value and that transformation that you offer to the clients that you are here to support. Now, remember, this is a general reading. Take the parts that resonate, leave the rest behind you. It's a blend of my intuition and yours. So just keep that in mind and make changes and move forward according to what feels right for you. But we have three different cards or three different piles. We have card number 1 over here on the left, card number 2 in the center, card 3 over on the right. So drop into the heart space, or maybe even take it lower into the belly, into that seat of your feminine wisdom. And just kind of notice which card is really speaking to you. Which one is maybe saying, I have a message. I'm here for you. Let's collaborate. Let's work together. And once you know, the timestamps are down in the video description, as well as a bunch of other resources and links that I have available to you. But for now, hop over to your reading and I will see you there. All right, hello and welcome to your pile 1. We are looking at the hidden value of your service, your offering, your magic. Really looking forward to what we're gonna find out about your hidden value and how you can better communicate it and maybe even better price your offerings. So the first card is kind of the overall transformation that you offer, and the card is Love, which is card number 45. If that might resonate, breaks down to a 9. So the transformation that you offer, you might have a lot of people coming to you for romantic advice, or perhaps you're a love coach or working a lot with people on relationships. But that's the general theme of the transformation you offer. And maybe that doesn't resonate. And I want you to consider, are you not maybe taking into account how the work they do with you impacts their relationships? Or maybe is this not your pile? So that had to be said. But one of the things that you can do in regards to conveying your hidden value is to speak a little bit to how the work that you're doing with the person that's sitting right in front of you or with that soulmate client, how it impacts their love life. And I'm hearing very specific, their love life. You work with a lot of people who maybe have some fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, low self-love, self-worth, the not enoughness stuff, or they're just living in a relationship that is unhealthy. And the work they do with you is going to be supportive of making a change, making a transformation happen there. Okay, that was a big message. It came through very choppy as well. All right, so let's take a look at which guide is working with you right now to support you in tapping into this value that you offer. And that's Dwal Dharma Unfolding. So remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. One of the things that I feel you want to start speaking to a little bit more with your tribe or your collective, I'm trying not to use the word tribe anymore, but it keeps slipping out. But one of the things that you really want to speak to is the importance of the slow burn on this transformation and on this path. You might work with a lot of people that are high anxiety, or just like really want a very fast change and transformation. And given the nature of what you do, that almost sabotages them each and every single time. So one of the things that you might want to start speaking to is why it's a slower process. And I actually get the impression that the real transformation you offer is a long-term thing. So it requires people to make a commitment to working with you. It requires people to fully show up and take one step at a time. You're not going to be doing a one and done session with them if they really want to see that transformation. And Spirit is actually saying that that's something you might want to consider building into your offers as a bit of a package or a bit of a journey for you or for your client to go on with you. Okay, but remembering that one step at a time is really kind of that secret formula to getting where they want to go. And I'm just thinking how we started off talking about love and relationships. So this very much could be like if somebody comes to you and their marriage is falling apart and the work that they're doing with you is in repairing that, really telling them that the real change and transformation, the one that's going to stick, is going to take time. It's going to take patience. And it's not one to be kind of, I'm hearing like torpedoed into. Okay, so that's something that you really want to make sure that you convey to your people. Oh, this is interesting. I was going to go to one card, but I really have a strong pull to share this. Why do you want to walk away and not work it out? So I actually feel like, and that wasn't the intention with the card or why I pulled this card, let's put it here, this is something that your clients are struggling with. They're really at this point of wanting to just throw in the towel, wanting to just walk away. It's almost like they're coming to you for just like one last try. And that's kind of what is getting in the way of them wanting to do the slow burn or the slow and steady, because they've tried a lot of things and they're freaking tired and they don't want to put more and invest more either into a relationship or into a business or even into themselves if it's not going to work out. So they're coming from this energy of nothing else has worked. They've done a lot of things. This could also be like a health and wellness, like a weight loss type thing where nothing has worked. So what is it that you offer that's going to work? Well, for one thing, you don't promise fast results. And that's, so I'm going to say that's a really hard sell to this market. But at the same time, they've gone I'm going to, we'll say with the weight loss, I'm going to lose 14 pounds in 14 days. Oh my God, like that just came through my channel. And every single fast path to weight loss hasn't worked because it's not designed to work that way. That's not sustainable. And there's a word for you to start using the sustainable lifestyle change or sustainable shifts within your relationship. That word sustainable is going to be really, really powerful for you to start utilizing with your ideal market. Okay. But really, if you do a lot of client interviews before a client, or a lot of discovery calls, I think that's what they're now called. One of the things that you can say is, why do you want to walk away from this problem? Why are you saying to me that this is the last shot? Why are you ready to give up? And it's going to be a gateway for you to say, well, let me share with you my perspective. That's because you've been doing programs and healings and trying to do the fast and furious, and that's just not going to cut it here. Okay, it's a powerful message. And the right people, Spirit really wants you to know this, the right people, the people that you are absolutely here to work with and work with this transformation on, are going to get that. There's some people who just aren't going to get it. If it's not fast and if it's not instant, they're not here for it, which is why they're going to struggle for a lot longer. They'll be back, Spirit just said. They'll be back. So I wouldn't push them too hard. I know there's a lot of coaching antics that go on, like challenging people who say it's not the right time or it's too much money. I would actually lay off that, let them go, because if they don't leave with a bad taste in their mouth, they'll come back to you. Okay? And then I felt very past lifey energy in pulling these cards. We have, your next card is the 7 Pillars of Wisdom. This is the Atlantis deck. And this card reminds you that you live in an ordered universe where there is a consequence for all your thoughts, words, and actions. Okay, so one of the things that I'm feeling really guided to share with you is that what you're really doing, no matter what label, my cards are all messed up, no matter what label, whether it be health and wellness, romance, whatever it is, business, you are really offering a mindset shift that provides access to a long-term change. This is powerful shit. Your price point needs to be up there because this isn't a overnight success. This is the process to lasting success and continuous expansion. Okay? So 7 pillars of wisdom, you are really speaking to the changes, the lifestyle changes, the mindset shifts, all of that deeper healing that needs to take place in order to get things to work out. Okay, a lot of Spirit's saying like there's been a lot of fast solutions that your people have been sold and they haven't worked out, and it's left a bad taste in their mouth. And so they are going to be a little bit more resistant to saying yes to you. But you bring love and you are very much respected within the community. You have a way about you that instantly brings people into this feeling of being at home with you. So just be yourself. Show up as yourself and deliver the transformation that you most want to offer. Ditch the challenges, like the 3 days to whatever, and because it sets a weird, it sends a mixed message. You're not about those challenges. You're not about those quick fixes. Again, I'm hearing like this is the long haul. Okay, so let's go on the journey with your clients. Where are they right now? Feeling it. 5 of Cups, disappointment. They're tired. They're over it. If it's a relationship, they're ready to just walk away because they're tired of dealing with their partner. They're tired of making the effort. If it comes, they're just done. They're over it. And they're disappointed. But here's the thing. They're disappointed in themselves. And it's really about their feeling like they're not good enough. They didn't try hard enough, even though they gave it their all. This journey has had an impact on their self-worth and their self-esteem and their lack of confidence. And that's really why they want to walk away. They no longer have the confidence that anything could be different because they haven't met you yet, right? But here's the thing. They wouldn't be showing up just one last time if they were done. Like if they truly weren't interested or ready to invest in the transformation, they wouldn't be showing up to the discovery call. Okay? So they're disappointed, but they still have it's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But you're going to get them to go 2 feet in, and you're going to walk it every step of the way with them. All right. So where are they right now? Okay. They've tried everything. They're tired. They don't want to hear the same old messages. They don't want to do all the same crap that they've done before. Something's got to give. We go from 5 of Cups to 6 of Cups, innocence, but this is also my soulmate card. Okay, so here's the thing. They are looking for you. They are looking for that one last chance before they throw in the towel and walk away. Which means, the one thing you have working against you is that they've made a big sizable investment, maybe several mini investments. And so they have spent a lot of money on this to no avail, no change, no shift, or temporary changes. But they are looking for the long term. They are looking for the sustainable. They are looking for what you offer. Call them in. Don't, make sure that when you're speaking to them or writing content that you are talking about, you've tried these short-term, overnight relationship retreats, or you've tried going on a date night every week, or you've tried, cutting carbs. Oh my God, what an awful life to cut all carbs. I'm like sweating thinking about it. I'm not your people, I don't think. Okay. They've tried all of that, and now they're ready to hear, if you want lasting change, it's going to take lasting behavior changes. Okay. This wisdom. You know what it takes. You've been on the journey yourself. Whew. Okay. But they're looking for you. They're looking for someone whose message is different. They're looking for someone who is authentic. And I'm also hearing is kind of like a straight shooter. Like you're not going to bullshit them. Okay. And this is one thing Spirit really wants you to know. They've been kind of like coerced or that's a big word, it's a big word, but it's a powerful word, but they've been manipulated into working with people before with these like coaching mindset tricks that are played. Like, what's it going to cost you if you don't make the investment now? They've had that happen to them in the past, and they've made big investments and it's screwed them over. Don't do that to them, because it's going to turn them completely off and away rather than giving them a little space. And I strongly feel they'll come back. Okay. And then what is the transformation that you really offer? They're here looking for you. They're sick of it. They're over it. Where are they going if they say yes to you? Six of Discs, generosity, balance, the give and take, the energetic exchange. This is things working out. This is no longer making efforts without the reward. This is taking a step and maybe in a relationship, taking one step and seeing the partner take one towards them. Okay? This is a big message. This is that it's not just them anymore. That this is, if it is about a relationship or about a community or about a business, it's knowing that people have to meet them halfway. Whew, that was a big message. It is still sitting like a brick on my heart. Okay? They're tired. Your people are very, very tired. Okay? Okay, so really consider that with your offerings. I want to encourage you to, one, make sure that this isn't a one-off session or a short-term transformation that you're offering just because you think that's what's going to sell. Show up and offer what you know it's going to take, because your people are looking for you. They're out there. They're ready because they're sick of the other way. They're ready to hear the truth, and they're going to really resonate with it. They're going to be like, yeah, I have done a lot of these, overnight fasts or whatever it is, and they haven't worked. They haven't been effective. And so here's someone who's like, you've got to make that commitment for the long term. You can't just do like a juice cleanse and be at your ideal weight the next day or whatever it is. All right. Whew. Big message for you, Pile 1. I like it though. It gives you a lot to work with. It gives you a big understanding of who your people are, what they've been through, and why you are so freaking perfect to support them in this transformation. All right, let me know how this sits, how this resonates down in the video comments, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hello and welcome. This is your reading if you chose Pile 2. Pile 1 was a real kick in the butt. There was a lot of information that came through. I'm really looking forward to all of them now. I wasn't expecting the depth that came through in Pile 1. So anyway, you get me when I'm pretty high on Pile 1 and ready to do yours. So let's see the overall theme or the general transformation that you offer. Woo! So we have the Frog. Card number 14 breaks down to a 5. The Frog is about cleaning house and releasing emotional baggage. Okay. So a couple of messages coming through. We could take this kind of literally, where you actually help people declutter or encourage them to get rid of their stuff. I know that I'm constantly saying declutter your things. And then this releasing of emotional baggage. So I very strongly feel that even if you are talking about cleaning house, at the heart of it is about healing. You are a healer, and you are here to help people release what no longer serves them. And I know when I say that, I kind of roll my eyes, because isn't that one of the most overused terms or phrases in the spiritual community at that point? Let go of what no longer serves you. But you are helping them kind of disconnect and sever cords that no longer are helping them move forward in life. In fact, they're keeping them chained. They're keeping them exactly where they are. And a lot of what you offer is the journey forward, the journey to the other side. One of the things that the Frog is really communicating to me right now is that this is almost like a little bit of healing 101 for some of the people that you're here to support. They might be new to healing. They might be used to, say, therapy or counseling, or I'm hearing or fighting or arguing or just kind of sticking their head in the sand. And when they start to connect with you, when they first start to engage with you, their eyes are opening to, oh my God, there's something called energy work, or I could work with a Akashic record reader, and she can help me understand what I've brought forward from my past life. So there's a little bit of educating I'm going to suggest that you do with your people on just kind of the basics, the nuts and bolts. And sometimes that can be a little hard because I get the impression that you are really working on mastering, or you've done a lot of reading, you've done a lot of training perhaps in courses or whatnot, and you have a vast you have a what I'm hearing is like a vast library of knowledge just like sitting in your fingertips. But we want to pull that back just a little bit and start with kind of like, it would be like yoga teaching 101, or even just forget teaching, yoga 101. It's not about touching your toes. That's kind of the message that I'm getting for you, is that they are just stepping into what working with their own energy or working with a healer could unlock for them. They're not talking about self-sabotage and limiting beliefs. That's not in their frame of reference yet. That's kind of like your next, it's like you have this initial offering, which I think that's what we're going to start talking about. Okay, so you already have like your second offer, but Spirit's really wanting you to consider what your initial offer is. What is the gateway to working with you? Because a lot of times you spend a lot of energy and a lot of time in session educating people, or you're getting maybe even some what feels like a misaligned client. And that's because they don't know before they go. Like before they enter, before they book, they're not 100% aware of what it is you do or what it is you can offer them. Okay, so just some client education on the front end. That could just be through content on social media. It could be like a freebie ebook, whatever it is. But they need a little bit of information. In order for you to really do the work that you want to do, they need a little information up front. Okay? What guide is working with you right now? Kuan Yin. I love her. She's right here. She's always present in my home. It's the guide that my daughter works with most, that embossed. But choose to be love, do what is right for everyone involved, and offer a helping hand. And this really, I think when people come to you, they're feeling very vulnerable. They're feeling very raw. I'm feeling even like a little bit emotionally charged. And you're like wrapping them in a hug. Working with you really starts to allow the pent up energy to dissipate, so that it's almost like once that happens, then you can really see what you or they are working with. So again, I'm getting like a little bit of a cloudy message here, and it's almost like they're very unclear about what they're signing up for. They just want relief, and so they're willing to hand over the money and they're willing to do the things, but maybe that's creating some frustration for you. And here's the thing with that education on the front end, with the benefits, with them knowing this is the process, you'll be able to increase those rates, which you've been wanting to do for some time, because they'll be more willing to make that bigger investment. I'm just listening because there's something about do what is right for everyone involved. I'm very much picking up like you yourself know a lot and you want to share that, but really to get started. So a couple of different things could happen, but to get started with like consistent clients and really developing your practice or whatever, your client practice or however you want to phrase it, it's like you've got to take a step down, or I don't love this phrase, but it's almost like you've got to dumb it down a little bit more. People can't say yes to you if they don't really know what you offer. And the people that are saying yes to you, it's like they show up and they don't necessarily know what you offer, and it's creating some frustration. There's a little bit of a disconnect. So just like take a moment. And I kind of am feeling like take a couple of days to sit with the energy of this reading and then just think, what do people need to know before we meet, or before we come face to face, or before I do a reading for them, or what do they need to know? Okay, thank you. Because there's some expectations that are not clear. And this is on the client. So the client comes in and has an expectation, and then you don't deliver it because their expectation isn't actually what you do or what you offer. So the big thing that I'm hearing for you ladies and gentlemen perhaps is client education. Okay, challenge yourself to go live a little bit, or challenge yourself to put something in writing so that people can actually read through it. All right. Okay. So the next is you are overly focused today on one task. I get this card all the time. And chances are, if you watch my readings, you've probably gotten it before. So I think that you're focused on something specific, perhaps getting clients, or maybe the lack of, oh, there it is. Okay, here we go. So gratitude is the next card. I'm going to blend these two messages. You're kind of focused on the lack of people that are saying yes to you, or the lack of alignment of aligned clients that are coming in for you. So anytime we enter into lack mindset, that kind of bites us in the ass, which you know, and it's almost like I hear you say like, yeah, well, I know, but I don't know how to get out of it. So what Spirit really wants you to do is take a step away. I'm hearing big, like step away, step away, step away, so that you can look at this a little bit differently. Take that step away. Instead of focusing on selling your offers, you want to consider how you can start to share what that transformation is. And that's going to do a lot for you. One, I think people are going to sit up and pay attention. People are going to start to say yes to you when they have a better understanding of what it is you do. And you're going to see people fall away. You're going to see the people that have been saying yes that aren't necessarily aligned, but just kind of need, it's what I'm hearing is like they need the validation, or they need whatever it is. They're going to stop saying yes. And that's okay, because you're going to be busy with the people that are aligned. But the indicators to watch for that your message is starting to land is just more engagement on your social media posts. And that's going to not just look like likes and little hearts on Instagram or shares or follows, but that's going to look like comments, people asking deepening questions. And in fact, I would invite them to ask deeper questions, or ask like, what doesn't clear? Say, I'm trying to make sure that everybody understands what this is. What questions are coming up for you? What help do you need? How can I support you in making the decision and making the investment that is right for you? And you might even say, I love to say this is because it's not the right investment for everybody. Okay. And I know this is all like I will say, like, I think that you guys are at a different part of the process than pile one. So pile one has a very clear and defined offer. I think you guys have a clear and defined offer, and perhaps are just kind of struggling to get the right people. And the reason you're struggling to get the right people is because you just need to tweak your message ever so slightly. And again, I'm hearing, and they're saying it's not even about tweaking your message, it's really about education. So, one of the things I would kind of invite you to do, I actually want to say challenge you to do, is to decide that every Friday, maybe, you could do like craniosacral fun facts, or whatever it is your modality is. Share a fact, or share a transformation, or share what it helps with. Go deeper into what it offers on Friday, or whatever specific day of the week works for you. And I would also kind of explore, do you know what it does? Like, are you really aware of the transformation that's available? Or are you aware of the transformation that you offer? Okay. Yeah, it's like a little bit of embodiment is going to happen. And I think you're already in the process of embodying it. And once you start to do that, it's going to feel so different and so much better. I'm going to restructure my cards here. Okay. So let's go on the journey with them. Where are they? Where were they? Where are they? And where are they going? Okay. So where have they been in the past? This Four of Swords. Your people have gotten a lot of messages to rest, to relax, to not burn out. They might actually be, I'm almost hearing like they might even be on medical leave because health-wise they're struggling, or And that health-wise could be physical, but even mental health or, emotional, or however you want to phrase it, maybe spiritual. But they've been told to rest, and they have been resting. But okay, they have been resting, but the energy isn't going anywhere. The energy isn't moving. If they are kind of bedridden because of mental burnout or something that happened at work, it's still sitting there like a brick on them. And what you can do for them, depending on the nature of your work, is help to remove that, or at least help to move it, to kind of, what I'm hearing is like cycle it or spiral it out of the body. Okay. Yeah. And okay, sounds good. They said just go. It'll keep coming through. All right, so your people that in the past they've been told to rest, that the way out of their problem, the way out of their struggle is to just either sleep more or nap or take a break or take a vacation. Very superficial fixes when the struggle or the problem or the imbalance is incredibly deeper. But they're not necessarily able to understand that it's deeper, or that there's something that they can do in order to get to that deeper energy or that deeper concern. All right, so where are they right now? We have the Five of Pentacles. Destitute, tired, frustrated. The Five of Pentacles is typically the two individuals outside of the church with that stained glass window. The snow is falling everywhere. Okay, so here's the thing. I feel like your people aren't necessarily looking for you, which is going to make it challenging because they don't even know that this is a possibility, which is why that education is going to be so important. So one of the things, it's like, let's go with compassion fatigue, because I can easily retrieve a example about compassion fatigue. So maybe there is so they've been told to rest. They're in compassion fatigue. They're caregivers for two senior parents, and they're spent. They don't have time to rest. And even when they've tried to rest, it doesn't do anything. So what you're going to need to do, a really beautiful access point for you, is to go to like caregiver conferences where it's on their radar. They're there for a specific reason. They're there for the issue, not knowing that there is a kind of not non-traditional solution. So look for where your people are hanging out, even if it doesn't fall into specific alignment to what exactly it is you do. There's room for you in these spaces. Like there's room for you at the caregivers convention, and there's room for you at the, sports injury facility or whatever it is. Reach out to those people and try to get on their radar. And where are they going? I love this. I so love this. Queen of Swords. So a couple of things. You find the truth in your value. You also learn how to communicate it and effectively share what it can do and what it can offer to people. But this Queen of Swords is also, this is the transformation. For years, your people have been told, you just need to take a vacation. You just need to get better sleep. You just need to ... Never once having it raised into their awareness that what they're struggling with, what they're hurting with, is so much deeper. That it's in the unconscious, that no amount of sleep, no fancy pants vacation is gonna do it until they get to the root. They dive into the unconscious, they move the energy. And it's almost like, boom, that's how the world starts awakening, folks. It's when we start to realize that traditional medicine is gonna have us medicate and respond, as opposed to be proactive and stay healthy. All right, I almost went off on a personal tangent, putting the time out on that one so that I can deliver your message. But really, that's the power here. This is a huge part of the global awakening that you are here to catalyze, is that the old way of doing things, the old way of pain management and relief is out. And now we're getting to the root cause through your magic. All right, pile 3. So listen, I have a new program, the Lightworkers Mission Activation. I'm going to drop a little information about that down below in the video description. Check this out because I feel like I could really help you figure out how to communicate with your people and get going with this powerful and friggin' fantastic work that you are here to do in the world. Okay, I'm only taking 5 people in February. So if it's of interest, make sure you reach out to me as soon as you see this or as soon as possible. But I love you and I love the work that you're here doing. And I love the passion in which you're doing it. All right. And I love you. We'll just say it 3 times the charm, right? So I will see you soon and let me know how this resonates down in the comments. Bye. Hello and welcome to your pile 3. Let's go ahead and take a look at the hidden value, or just because one of the other piles really threw me for a loop, what it is you need in order to develop the value or explore the value deep further of what it is you're here to do and the offer that you're putting out into the world. Okay, so what's the general idea of the transformation that you're offering? And interesting, we have the Bard, music, poetry, myth, history, the enchantment of storytelling, and this is card number 7. So there's an art to what you offer, and I would drop in and really see if this is your message. And if it is, let's continue. But if not, maybe pick one of the other piles or just kind of make peace with there is no message for you today. You can check out another reading in my pick a card playlist. But really what you do is an art. You might be an actual painter. You might be guiding others in maybe you teach the violin, or you whatever it is, whatever your craft is, whatever your art is. And I will say it doesn't have to be one of the more quote unquote traditional arts, but that is what I'm picking up on, that you share your own work as well as perhaps teach others in it. One of the big struggles for you right now in this time that we're living in is that you kind of feel, now this is a personal view, it's like people aren't investing in hobbies, or people aren't investing in themselves, or people aren't investing in what I do. That's a little bit of a limiting belief, so I'm going to challenge you on that. Okay, dive into that. But because actually people are making that investment, and people are looking for ways to expand their hobbies, because I'm kind of feeling like you think, oh, people don't want a hobby, or people could just go over to YouTube and grab a free tutorial on resin or whatever it is. Okay, but that's something that's coming up. It's like this inner belief of people aren't making that investment, or people can just get this everywhere for free. And the reality is like, yeah, people can get everything and anything for free, but they can't always get access to you for free. And that's what the selling is, or that's what the value is working with you and really starting to explore the value that you bring and you contribute to the hobby development, or to the art, or to the music. Okay, because you are not replicable. You are a kind of a big deal. You're a one of a kind. People can only get you by working with you. And so what we're really looking is to create a connection with those that you're here to support, so that, yeah, they could get the exact same thing off of Instagram or YouTube or Pinterest, or they could learn how to do it themselves, but you're not going to be there. Okay, so how can you, what I'm really hearing from Spirit is like, how can you push aside all of the people aren't making that investment, or it's just not the right time, or whatever the excuse is? How can you push that aside and start to build that connection? I mean, and authentically. I'm hearing a little bit like, and really show up to make connection. So maybe at times you're posting on social media, but it's like you're posting to post, not believing that the post is going to make an impact either way. So I'm hearing from Spirit, like, it's time to make the effort, because people can't see the value because you're not really showing your value right now. Alrighty. So what guide is working with you and really wants to support you in working with those you're here to help? And we have the divine director, intervention, and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. Okay, I have to tell you with how clear this message is coming in. If you are watching this and you're like, yes, this is my pile, part of this divine intervention that's occurring was you being led here. I don't necessarily know what the upcoming messages are, but that is very much vibrating off of the cards right now. But I'm hearing things like show up like you want to be there. Show up like you are actually passionate about your art rather than kind of like half-assing it at times. We all go through chapters like that, right? Where we're like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. And I think, take the breaks that you need, but also consider why or how, what needs to happen in order for you to I guess, be a little bit more present, be a little bit more invested in your mission and in your soul's purpose. And it's one of the challenges right now is, like I said, like you are the selling point, but you're not necessarily showing up sometimes, right? And then happiness is your purpose. So how can you infuse more happiness into the work that you're here to do? I think we're going to be deviating a little bit from this hidden value. I can't be certain, but there is a deeper message, and that just sometimes happens. But we're going to find it. We're going to dig it up and explore it. And so that you can really start to tap into your happiness, your joy, and putting that work that you are passionate about out into the world. Okay. Wow. So your next card is sound and music. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, like, you're definitely here with the arts in some way. And I'm really, really feeling this like limiting belief, and it's sitting like right in my hips. I almost feel like I have saddlebags on, but it is like, well, people can just get it for free. Or if people like my art, they can just do a screenshot and put it on their phone wallpaper or whatever it is. But it's like that block is preventing you from really being seen and really being able to show yourself. It's like you're so afraid of being taken advantage of, or you're so afraid that people are just going to want it for free or think you're overcharging, that you're not showing up at all. All right. So there's like a little bit of efforting on your end that you need to be putting in. And sometimes, damn, you guys are getting all my tough love today. Sometimes it's like, well, I shouldn't need to make an effort because the universe is going to work on my behalf, or, I'm just going to sit back and let my vibration do the talking. And there's a lot of that going on in this reading. But what Spirit is really kind of showing me is that there's that's a mask. It's like, I'm going to just trust in the universe because if I don't make the effort, then I'm not the one that's rejected. Or if it's just like a very delicate, vulnerable, and quite raw message for you. Because I think that some of you that receive this might even reject it. But sometimes it is like, it wasn't meant to be. Nobody purchased my course, or nobody said yes to working with me, or they left after just 3 or 4 I'm really hearing violin lessons. So it wasn't meant to be. And Spirit is saying, well, it's not going to be meant to be if you don't show up as your best self, if you don't make the effort. And even like the divine director is kind of honing his eyes into me. Like if they were laser beams, they would go right through me. And it's like this energy of Spirit, the universe can only do so much. And you might like challenge that, because even I want to be like, but that's not true. Like the universe can do anything. Our guides can do everything. Anything is possible. And they're saying like that is true. But they want to know that you want it. Okay? Let's keep going. So sit stationed for a moment and slow down your thoughts. And this is going to support you in really tuning into what's happening under the surface, what's really preventing people from saying yes to you. Maybe initially just saying yes to working with you, maybe even saying yes to the long-term working with you, but you're going to be able to sit with that because here, and I always say this, it's like we have these excuses that we usually put on other people, like they don't want to make the investment or people just want everything for free. And those often cover up many things that are sitting below the surface. Like, it could be of being seen, but I'm hearing even more like being taken advantage of. You have been taken advantage of in the past, and you're not necessarily looking to set yourself up to be taken advantage of again. But the thing is, you've learned a lot, you've grown a lot, you have stronger boundaries than ever before. And that's unlikely to happen. Well, this is what I'll say. It's unlikely to happen to the same extent that it has happened in the past. There's always going to be what one of my mentors calls, and Sebastian's shaking it out on this one, what my mentor calls freeple. And these are people that will never make any kind of financial investment. They, they love we'll just use like, I'm like, okay. Like they'll get 101, they'll sit and watch every single pick a card that I've ever released and yet won't make an investment back. And I've done a lot of work around that. But here's the thing, like the freeples, you can't do anything about them, but don't let them block you from expanding your reach, casting your net wider, to call the people that do want to make the investment, that do want to say yes to you. Right? Like if I stopped because if I stopped, then you would not be able to be here and you would not be able to receive this message. And I do strongly feel like some of you don't just watch all my pick a cards. I've worked with you in the past in many different ways. And I'm not just talking lifetimes. I mean, in the here and now, in this lifetime. Okay. So don't stop. Don't censor your light. Don't prevent yourself from putting yourself out there and letting yourself be seen for the handful. Oh, well, I mean, I don't think it's from the handful that just will never make that investment. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the journey that your people are on. So here's the thing, your people are starting out with the Queen of Wands energy, which means they are powerful individuals. And these are like your true people. These are your actual clients, the ones that aren't your freeple, okay? I'm sorry if you can hear Sebastian scratching it out. So these are people that are very creative. They are very passionate, which is why they are so ideal for working with you, because you are passionate and you are creative. And this is who they were in the past. Oh, wow. I just looked at the next card. They have this artistic gift already, or they have an interest in music or in writing. Okay. The interest was woven into them probably at the time of birth, probably past lifetimes. And they have this craving to get back to it. So where are they in the present moment? We have the Hanged Man. They're at a point of surrender. They really want to make this investment. They really want to see their life turned on its head. They want to get back to how they once were. They want to tap into their creative fire to create something that is of value and of meaning for them. But again, it's like, it's kind of an interesting message, because at one point I think that they were looking for you and they've surrendered, because it's like you're not putting yourself out there. They can't find you because you're not out there right now. And so they've surrendered. They've kind of a little bit of given up. But they're going to find you. And I know they're going to find you, because here's the thing. In the outcome, we have the 9 of Cups. This is the wish fulfillment card. All right. This is such a strong message. And it's, whew. So listen, I'm almost speechless, which those of you who know me know that is a rare occurrence. But if I could sit across from you right now, I would say, put your magic out into the world and let the people who are here for you be here for you, and watch what happens. Because it is like, I don't necessarily know if it's oh, okay. So there's like the people just want everything for free, and then the other layers, people take advantage, and then the other, like this other, like very, very deep layer is nobody really sees me. And so to prevent yourself from actually having to say that or having to feel that, you just don't put it out there. Okay? So listen, if this is you, I want you to send me a PM, or I'm sorry, not a PM. Where are we? We're here on YouTube. So send me an email, info@KarenMonaco.com, and let me see you. Let me see the light that you're putting out into the world. And woo, I just knocked the camera. Let me support you. Okay? I will like what you put out into the world. And I'm not an artist in the sense that I'm looking for art classes, but I will support you, and I will be there and probably be in awe of the masterpieces that you paint, or the arias that you sing, or the stories that you're telling. I will be there. But please, please, please open yourself up and just let it happen. Let your soul song ring out. Okay? All right, pile 3. I hope that this was helpful. I know it was a deep message. Look down in the video description. I'm going to have some resources available for all of the piles. And I love you, and thank you for sticking with this reading to the end. Okay. All right, bye.